So this is our innovation audit framework. Companies can use this to manage the innovations happening inside their companies. So first axis that we will talk about is nature of innovation. It was termed by Professor Clayton Christensen. He gave us three types of nature of innovations: disruptive innovation, sustaining innovation, and efficiency innovation. In disruptive innovation starts out with targeting the bottom rung of the market, and the product or service is used by a very small population, but with time the product or services improves dramatically, and in the end it replaces the incumbent market leader. In doing so, it creates a new value network and new market for the technology. Then we have sustaining innovation. It is an innovation in which there is a regular improvement in the product performance on an incremental basis. Then we have efficiency innovation. In efficiency innovation, the process to develop that product or service is improved. Hence, the same product or service is provided to the end user at a lower price, and hence jobs are eliminated, and the cost of providing the same service or product is dramatically reduced.
Talking about the next axis, we are going to cover types of innovation. So, in types of innovation, the first one we are going to talk about is product innovation. It is probably the most common form of innovation and it refers to improvements in performance characteristics and attributes of the product. Product innovations are always tangible, can involve radically new technologies, or can be built based on combining existing technologies in a new way, although they do not necessarily have to involve any technology at all.
So next we go on to the locus of innovation. Locus of innovation is another axis in the innovation audit framework. This axis tells us about who are the people that are doing the innovation. So it has four parts: business ecosystems, projects, small teams, and organizations. So the next thing we talk about is sustainable innovation in design and marketing in an organizational setting. An example for this could be NYTVR. NYTVR is basically a New York Times virtual reality, which is created by the New York Times. It's a very digitally obsessed world, and it is almost that print media is not going to survive. But given that companies producing them are disappearing, it's clear that print media is something that we need to fight for. So the New York Times is setting an example in terms of it created NYTVR. So what NYTVR needs is just Google Cardboard and their app. So using virtual reality, the Times presents its audience with new ways of experiencing world, and also remains relevant in the face of new technology that is replacing the print media. It not only generates content for Google Cardboard, but it is also it is also adapting the content for on-screen viewers also. Now we'll discuss about measures that we can use to quantify this kind of sustainable design and marketing innovation in an organizational setting. So it could be calculation of increase of market share, design number of design IPRs filed, and percentage of workforce in design.
So now we will talk about sustainable nature of innovation for products where the locus of innovation would be a project. Here I would like to take a example of an innovative product which was created by Aqualonis. The product was named Cloudfisher. So what this product did was it could allow people living in coastal or mountainous areas to convert fog into safe drinking water. So this innovative product actually helped individuals or even the entire villages to have accessibility to safe drinking water. Now, the factors that could quantify sustainable product innovation in projects can be innovation expenditure, which may be a little high for such innovations. The number of sustainability patents are one of the factor which can give us uh, the idea about sustainable innovation in products. Material usage and energy usage are two more quantifiable factors. The core impact of the product is also one of the factors which can be quantified, and durability and end of life management are two more factors which can be quantified to give an overall idea about the sustainable nature of innovation in products with the locus of project.
Consider sustainable innovation in customer channels and markets with locus of innovation as project. Channel innovations encompass all the ways that you connect your company's offerings with your customers and users. While e-commerce has emerged as a dominant force in recent years, traditional channels such as physical stores are still important, particularly when it comes to creating immersive experiences. Skilled innovators in this type often find multiple but complementary ways to bring their products and services to customers. Their goal is to ensure that users can buy what they want, when and how they want it, with minimal friction and cost and maximum delight. Channel innovations are particularly sensitive to industry context and customer habits. For example, if we consider Amazon offline stores in India, which were entering into the market with to create an integrated shopping experience for consumers across e-commerce and all the brick and mortar stores to take on their competitors. Flagship stores can be an extremely valuable channel innovation, creating signature venues that showcase a firm's brand and offerings. This can be for calculating this, the factors we can consider are overhead costs, maximizing the margins, and the cost advantage that they can have to determine the success rate of or the impact it is creating due to the changes that they are bringing with the project.
So now we will talk about disruptive business model, project innovation. Zipcar is one disruptive company that brought disruption through its business model. Instead, it disrupted the rental car business and positioned itself as a car sharing company. Through RFID technology and online membership services, it enrolled as many as 800,000 plus customers on its platform and more than 100,000 organizations that avail membership of Zipcar. For being a disruptive innovation, it created value for the advertisers who advertised their product on using Zipcar. Then it created value for the consumer by saving $600 per month, which resulted in $72,000 of saving annually. You can quantify the value position. For example, the cost that had gone into delivering the service to the user. For example, the insurance cost, maintaining car fleet, mall merchant types, etc., and the value proposition that is the revenue generated by the company in the end. Zipcar generated a revenue of 27.8 million dollars in quarter 4 of 2012, and Avis Rental Services saw an opportunity and hence bought out Zipcar for $500 million in 2013.
Now we will talk about sustainable innovation in project in terms of processes. So here I would like to take an example of an innovative process which has just started to come up in the industry. So here we are talking about the heat map. It is widely being used now in supply chains and operations, and it includes activities such as designing, sourcing, production, delivery, and usage and return or end of life of the product. So the heat map is basically it's a matrix view where companies layer in the financial impact and sustainability priority of each component of each sector they have. And so this information helps them drive and enhance their sustainability strategies in their processes. So how we can quantify these are in terms of the process efficiency and how much time is it taking with the newer process, the cost reduction in the whole process, output improvement as in how much more productive are we with the new process, the initial expenditure in producing or in having the process installed and started, and in comparison to it the long term benefit of the process. We also need to keep in mind the upgradation cost of the process. So these are all the factors that can be quantified to give us the exact uh, sustainable innovation in processes in terms of projects.
Now, talking about sustainable project and management innovation, we take into the account the example of Google. Google was the first company to create a business based on innovation. Google founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin addressed that we support our employees to contribute 20% of their time to work on the innovation that will benefit the organization. As a result of this initiative, Google was able to launch some of the most successful applications, including Gmail, Google Talk, and AdSense. Now, talking about the quantification variables, we take into the account the revenue generated. Google was able to generate a revenue of around 24 billion US dollars in the year 2018 out of AdSense. The number of employees that were increased as a result of this initiative were around 2000. Google AdSense currently has a market share of around 53%. The number of patents that were filed after this initiative was launched were 4, and the number of new initiatives that were taken in the same year were 3.
Let us now talk about sustainable innovation in industries pertaining to organizations. A live example for this could be public electric transport today. Now, electric vehicles are not only available to individual owners today, but it has kind of moved on an entire industry wherein about 160 electric and hybrid vehicle models are available today. If you want to quantify this, you could say that though as compared to normal vehicles, the acquisition costs of electric vehicles are higher. However, the total cost of ownership is lower for electric vehicles due to the independence from the pricey diesel. Another kind of innovation that we can talk about is disruptive innovation when it comes to design and marketing models inside organizations. Now, for this, we can talk about, say, the Dollar Shave Club. So, the Dollar Shave Club was what they did was that they were the first company to move to a subscription based model in that industry, and they used marketing techniques of content marketing, and their design was the bare minimum. They would do minimalistic designs and spend their money on content marketing. And with this, if you want to quantify, we could take the variable of how much market share they have increased or how much profits they have increased. So starting from 2012 to 2016, Dollar Shave Club actually made a profit of nearly 200 million US dollars, and this could be probably a quantification of this model.
Now, we will talk about disruptive service organizations. Dealing with a new mega trend seems to be important for survival. Now that managers are supposed to be agile and find their way in the current industrial revolution of digitization, namely Industry 4.0, while digitization is not really new, its greater interdependence with business and IT self sufficiency are indeed two very recent manifestations. And these recent manifestations have become the reason for disruptive change in service organizations. So when we talk and we take examples, for example, Skype, we have all probably used Skype before and have been used to its existence for years. But think about how disruptive the service truly is. Users all over the world can chat, call, and video chat with each other for free or for very low fees. Originally targeting a small market of users, Skype has ballooned to have more than 74 million active users, and it's entirely replaced mainstream forms of communication for some customers. The next type of innovation that we are going to talk about here is service innovation, and it refers to a new or significantly improved service concept, product, or process in a new or existing market. It can be, for example, a new customer interaction or distribution channel, a system that improves the delivery process, or new solutions in the customer interface. Another innovation that we're going to talk about is process innovation, and it generally refers to the implementation of a new or significantly improved production or delivery method. It may also be indirectly related to the company's products and services, for example, in the form of support function processes in HR or finance. Next type of innovation is technological innovation, and it involves new or improved technology such as new type of machinery or alteration of some form of technology into a product, process or service delivery methods. The next type of innovation that we are going to talk about is business model innovation, and it is a fundamental change in how a company delivers value to its customers or captures it from the market. In practice, it often happens through the development of new pricing mechanisms, revenue streams, or distribution channels, but isn't limited to them. With changing time, it has also become very important that companies come up with innovative marketing practices that enables you to enhance those customer relationships in a way they might not even expect. L'Oreal Cosmetics Company, for example, has developed its Makeup Genius app to reach a wider customer group to elevate their engagement with the brand. Marketing innovations are different compared to other innovations in the sense that they can also be used to promote existing products or service in a different way than what has been done previously. For example, a product initially used for one purpose can be promoted for another purpose now.
Next thing we talk about is the efficiency innovation in a process in an organizational setting. So the best example for this could be the famous assembly line by Henry Ford. So what assembly line did was essentially reduce the amount of time required for production of cars to 12 hours to around 90 minutes, and in which many moving parts were eliminated, and a progressive assembly was set up, which decrease the time and increase the efficiency of working of the workers. How do we quantify an efficiency process innovation in organization? Is that we could measure changes in productivity. We could measure changes in the cost expenditure for the company, and also what we can measure is the time between two outputs, or time between the outputs, or time between batches.